certainly been going aggressive in the far east side of the map. As the Red Terran from Team Complexity, it is Ganzi. And on the southwest spawn location, as the Blue Zerg, it's MVP DRG.
Yep, and so far, twice in a row, we've seen Dongraegu open up with 8 Zerglings. There's a whole lot of Zergs who just open up with 2 or 4 Zerglings. We saw Violet actually against Hart choosing to go with the minimum amount, and sometimes getting caught a little bit uncomfortably against the 2 barracks opening from Hart. Dongraegu says, I want to get past this stage of the game. You know why? Because my late game is very good. If you move out badly, I'm just going to counterattack you.
Yeah, and you know, maybe that is one way that he sort of counteracts that possibility. And you know what? Will be a good test, because Marine King will certainly put his aggressive defense capabilities to the test, as he did yesterday in the MKP versus DRG game in Game 3. It was a brutal thing to watch as a Zerg. I mean, MKP just boxed him in with 3 bunkers, had so many Marines. You could see the frustration in DRG's face. So, you know, getting that aggression and kind of unique play from Ganzi is certainly going to be a big test, and he's handled it just perfectly. I mean, DRG is playing really impressive today.
Yeah, for sure. Now the standard 15 hatch, and then going on into an extractor. We'll follow up with the spawning pool momentarily. And Ganzi has gone for no refinery with the barracks, and will most likely be taking a gasless expansion.
Yeah, and I think that he needs to play this way. I kind of wish that he would have played this way in the last game. I'm not really sure what he had hoped to do with that, if he really thought he was going to be able to get a quick killing blow.
Yeah, 5 Marines and 1 Helion. Wars have been won with more.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually not with that or with less.
Definitely not with that much. So, I mean, I would not say it was just a giveaway game, but I guess I would say it was just kind of a giveaway game, because I feel like this is how Ganzi should have played in game number 1. But he is now getting both of his refineries, that CC going down on the low ground. DRG's not going to be in any position where he's going to go for some sort of ultra pressure, especially getting his 2 queens right away. So he will start his speed almost immediately, though, and has pulled 2 drones off of there, so he'll just get the 1 drone mining. Keep that going, give you a little bit of opportunity a little later on if you want to eventually go with a quick nest, or you get your upgrades up, whatever. Even lair faster. So.
And Ganzi got his 1 Rax expand a little bit earlier than usual, because he actually chose not to make a Marine until after the command center. Dongraegu also deviated a little bit from his earlier styles. He has not made a single Zergling yet. Did go for the speedlings quickly, so we can only assume that eventually there will be Zerglings on the field.
Yeah, I mean, right now just droning up to get that natural completely saturated, or at least so it's pulling in optimal income. Meanwhile, we are going to see a reactor Hellion, pretty standard transition here out of the quick command center from Ganzi. And, you know, the question is, how much will he actually be able to do? There we see 10 Zerglings coming out now, and that will correspond with his speed quite nicely. And, you know, in the situation where you can make drones or Zerglings, if your Zerglings are going to do absolutely nothing, well, then why make them? But once you have speed, giving them much more utility, allowing them to scout a little bit, even 10 Zerglings potentially with speed, I think, you know, the right attack, the right angle, easily take out, you know, the first pair of scouting Hellions. So
yeah, that's funny, because these 20 Zerglings with speed, they could actually do a lot of aggressive damage. The first thing I thought of is that they're just this opportunity squad in order to kill the first 2 Hellions, and that's not actually what they're designed to do. He's running by those 2 Hellions. He could probably surround and kill him, but he wants to go for something that really hurts. Didn't think he would choose to go for the bunker, but that's definitely a line of resistance which will enable him to do more follow-up damage. Now taking down a lot of the SCVs. The SCVs can't escape. They're like, let me in, let me in. And like, no, you're infected. We don't want to get infected too. So all of them got taken down. And that's a grand total of 5 SCV kills, plus a dent in Ganzi's plans.
I mean, he did certainly make a ton of lings there, but now he can easily and safely take that third, probably drone heavily behind that as we see 5. A few more drones did pop out of there. Gonna now throw down his Evo chambers. We do have, what?
Questionable decision there from Ganzi. This is usually not the time that you see someone take a third.
I'm just going to take a third CC after he just chewed up everything that I had at my front. But he's got these 4 Hellions now. I can't wait to hear what the guys have to say about this one as we've got Lair going. But the Banshee, it's going to be popping out here any moment and making its way over.
Yeah, and those Hellions now, because they have to defend that third, one Zergling could just stop that third if he doesn't defend it. So they have to defend that. And I think Dongraegu can guess. There are Hellions on the field, but you're not using them aggressively to limit the flow of my creep tumors. Something's funny going on. And let's see if he eventually makes that connection. Banshee now coming in, but there's no cloak and 3 queens. So even the Banshee knows that she has to turn around right away.
Yeah, I mean, the Spore Crawler placement was really good as well. Surprised these lings aren't actually working on the back rocks yet. He's just kept them up here in this corner, waiting for an opportunity to potentially counterattack. Banshee in the middle, clearing out those lings at the watchtower to deny him that vision. And now that Lair is up, what are we going to get next? The Baneling Nest has been started. There's that +1 carapace again. But is he going to go Spire and Muta yet again?
Now 200 gas, so we see it exactly like you said. The Spire has been created, and we're kind of getting this sense of this all-pervasive readiness of Dongraegu for everything. The spores were ready as the Banshee came in. He's got 1 spore in every base. He's just so prepared for everything, and watching a game like this, I mean, it's quite artistic. The Lynx are now going in, will take down 1 Hellion and then another for very low losses indeed. Good trade there for Dongraegu, and I think if he didn't know for sure, now he must almost completely be sure that there is a third with those Hellions there in that low ground defensive position.
I mean, an interesting decision by Ganzi that I feel like has absolutely paid off. He was able to get that defensive little line of Hellions set up outside his base. It's worked out good. He's now transferring SCVs over, so his income is going to be looking pretty sharp here very, very soon, as we do have this third up now for DRG. And the Hellions now going to just maintain their map control. Meanwhile, we have the Spire at the front, that macro hatch at the natural. And how much gas has he pooled up? About 900. But he's probably also going to be starting his +2 carapace and +1 flyers. There's the +1 flyer. And the first mutas are going to come out, about 7 of them in total.
And now the Zerglings will see these Hellions and Banshee here. Very low amount of aggression from Ganzi, as once again he's banking on his double upgrades from the engineering bay. Those upgrades just finished. The armory is ready. A pretty temporary supply block there for Ganzi. As a nice round there by the Lynx, taking down 3 Hellions and then a 4th. And these, I mean, Zerglings are super cheap and they're getting so much done here. And then we're not even talking about Mutalisks yet.
Yeah, we got 8 mutas with 2 more on the way. So this initial force, let's check for the missile turrets or about the timing when he would want to put them down. We don't have any in the main, in the natural quite yet, and so this is just going to do a ton of damage. Grubby, these mutas are going to force a pull of these SCVs. SCVs not moving quite yet, already several going down. Here's the rotation of these Marines from the front over to the main, and we don't have a counterattack off of that, but suddenly there's another problem for Ganzi to have to deal with as we see the missile turrets going down, and he's got to get those bases well defended. Meanwhile, a swell of Zerglings starting to come up here. Baneling speed is done. +2 carapace is almost completed. +1 melee is halfway done. And he's starting to get that nice supply and nice force that I think Ganzi really has to be scared of.
Yeah, we've got 100 Zerglings on the field, backed up by 15 Mutalisks. Now 17 Banelings being morphed. This could be a big kill move. And once again, Ganzi, is he actually thinking of moving out here at this awkward time? Supply blocked at 121 supply, and basically has no idea of what's going on. And Banelings are streaming in here. He's just gonna take this fight. I don't think it was a good idea for Ganzi to move out here. Third time, the same mistake. And Dongraegu's just crushing this. Banelings exploding on the Marines. And only tanks left now with a couple of Marines. Okay, he will be able to stabilize, but now a new wave of Zerglings is coming in. And if we take a look at the mini-map, there's more and more blue units coming. And all that Dongraegu leaves Ganzi with is
DRG. I kind of feel like that was a little sloppy. I mean, certainly with the Banelings, he almost felt like maybe I have to react here. But about 4 Banelings went down with I think just 1.5 Marine kills there. He did manage to clean up all the Marines, but I felt like that definitely should have gone more in DRG's favor. However, the supply is absolutely still in his favor as he gets down the 4th and the 5th base at the same time. Grubby, the Mute is going to continue to come here, pelt away at the main. There are a couple of missile turrets up now. He's going to start working on these engineering bases, and he finds a sweet spot here in the back where the turrets are not going to hit him, and we are going to get the repair from the SCVs, but so annoying, those mutas.
We have some laughter here as his eBay was about to die. He starts upgrading 3rd armor there, but he proves us wrong by actually saving his eBay. And if we take a look at the 4 barracks that Ganzi has here at the 16-minute mark, they're pretty fully queued up again with Marines, and it's something that we have been seeing from him for a while, perhaps accepting his fate in that he's never going to get over 3 bases and saying, well, I just don't want to spend more on barracks and just make every mineral I have and turn it into a Marine. Mutalisk keeping tabs on the Terran.
Yeah, I mean, if this 3rd base gets assaulted the way I think that he wants to assault it, it's going to be pretty bad. He can either take down these back rocks. We got a lot of Banelings coming over. In fact, everyone's starting to get ready over on the middle to the west side of the map. That means the rocks could be the target here. He could just Bane through the supply depots as well, which would supply block Ganzi pretty badly, but he's not yet committed to anything. Looks like the Muta's going to fly back over and go back into the main. There are at least there's 1 set of Marines sitting there, so DRG, he's taking over the map though.
Yeah, 5 bases now and has 79 drones, also making infestation pit, perhaps getting ready to go to hive tech as his 2nd attack upgrade for Mutalist is about to finish, as his 2nd attack for melee as well. And now finally that eBay is dying. Funny position there on the eBase in any event. Kind of one of the most exposed places of his entire 3-base structure.
And here he goes through the middle. They're going to chase the Lings, but the Banelings are up on the high ground. If they come up from the back with the flank, the Marines are going to come back. The siege tanks are down. The first set of Marines, oh, they juke around those Banelings, but it completes around by those Lings. The Mutas come in, and the Banelings could roll all the way to victory. Going to knock on the front door of Ganzi. There is a single Thor out as well, and only 1 tank here to defend.
And these Banelings are streaming in here, just 1 tank. Banelings now connecting with the Marines. So many Zerglings, and the Mutalists not that big in numbers, but definitely enough to deal with whatever remnants of resistance the Terran has here to defend. And Ganzi definitely not looking in a great position by any means. Last defense, and now 1 Thor. He says, I'm here, but will get taken down by Magic Box Mutalist right away.
Yep.
Dongraegu's just looking so strong this series, absolutely dominating.
That is all she wrote, and guess what, guys? For the 3rd time in a while now, we are going to see Marine King Prime versus DRG again.
Yeah, GG by Ganzi. Dongraegu, who was almost about to be eliminated in this 8-man round robin, scrounged by in last place on the 6th place, now has found it in himself to evolve during the tournament, building victory upon victory and somehow gaining confidence and using that experience that he has, that innate skill and confidence, and he has transformed himself into a winning player once again to face Marine King in the finals. Very impressive.
Let's get some thoughts here from Artosis and Sheth after a 3-game romp there by DRG. What are your thoughts of that semifinal matchup?
Well, DRG really is evolving. Unfortunately, Ganzi, someone pressed B for him, and he's just going to stay with the same builds, the same style. What's with his move-out timings? He always moves out like when upgrades are not done. And like by the time he gets anywhere, they still won't be done, just barely. And that's the opposite of the way you normally would play StarCraft.
Yeah, I think he's maybe used to playing worse Zergs who have that timing where, okay, I have maybe 20 seconds where, like, I'm the aggressor, they're afraid of my army, they're not going to engage until I'm, like, perfectly positioned, and then, like, even then they won't engage me. And then DRG is like, well, you're moving out now? Like, you sure? You don't have that good of upgrades. You sure you want to do this? And he's like, yeah. And he dies.
Yeah, that's something that we've seen a few times in this series. DRG, very impressive. That Speedling opening, he never does anything like that, so that was nice. And Ganzi just keeps doing these really greedy builds, so that was a nice part too.
Yeah, that was great. What did you guys think about the Speedling build?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, DRG, I think he played, and I think Artosis mentioned it earlier, is that DRG, he's just been playing to his opponents well. And having done pretty much the same thing versus MC, I mean, total today, he's 6-1 in games. So, I mean, specifically about the Speedling build, a little bit different, but look at how much further ahead it got him as a result. So, we do have a NOS performance replay of what we have seen here today. Some epic, epic games, but this particular TVZ, here we have DRG and Ganzi moving out. Now, this is the point where I kind of felt like DRG was a little bit sloppy in this battle. What do you guys think about this?
Well, this is one of these move-out timings as well, so this is a good time for DRG actually to attack into here, but yeah, well, that's actually a very good connection, but a lot of those Banelings did hit the siege tanks.
Yeah, and then there was no 2-2, and then he wasn't sieged. Whether he forgot it again, or just forgot to press the button, it doesn't matter too much.
He's got it.
Yeah,
He has it, but he just didn't use it there, and sadly, non-siege tanks aren't that good against Banelings, or Zerglings, or Muta.
I mean, it's
Or
a little
anything,
surprising. A scan
Maybe
in the middle could have revealed the location of both the Lings and the Banelings there.
Yeah, I feel like Ganzi, he was kind of transforming. In the first part, he kind of played like the Spoon Terran, getting like very greedy, but also getting a lot of upgrades to E-base, and then kind of he flipped this switch and he kind of went on mad mode and attacked. And he didn't have that kind of leapfrogging tank style, seeing whether the coast is clear, siege up this tank, and then move forward, which with the way his upgrades were lined up is something you would expect. And yeah, here you saw that third armor upgrade being researched as the Mutilis were attacking the eBay.
Yep, and he saved it too. But I mean, you make a good point, Grubby, is that if you're going to take that third, if you're going to be like that, I mean, he never really had that defensive posture there at the front at all.
Yeah,
I
don't think he even sieged up there.
Yeah, especially if you're going for this really heavy macro style, there's no reason not to take a fourth while you slowly get there and get that upgrades. So that's the whole point, is you're slowly getting towards the center and cutting the Zerg off from countering you. Like, you can't counter if you just sit at your fourth and have like a tank line.
And possibly if you want to move out with an army at that time, when your upgrades are in the 60 to 75% area, what you would probably expect is to have it be preceded by a drop in the main base, for example, where you can visibly see that the Zerg is pulling back either half or almost all of his army in order to deal with that. But it was preceded by nothing, and therefore it was easy to kind of filter that information out for Dongraegu and say, well, that's it.
And look, right now, he's just walking on creep. Like,
yeah.
he can't.
And he, again, had no vision of what was going on in the middle there. The first little group of Marines sort of gets sidetracked. But, I mean, look, chasing those Marines away, they eventually get hit by Banelings. So that was the beginning of the end, fellas, right there.
Yeah.
Or the end of the end.
The end of the end. So we do see DRG moving on to face Marine King Prime in the grand finals of the MLG Spring Arena, and that's going to be coming up next. Now, because there's no extended series and it was a round robin, this grand finals is going to be a best of 7. So I'm really excited to see what happened. Also, a big shout out. He couldn't do it after so many times in the MSI Cups, and finally, Thorzane defeats Polt in the DreamHack Finals. Congratulations, Slasher, what's up?
Slasher, my prediction, Thorzane winning. Just want to put it out
Good
there.
job.
Correct.
Good job, Grevy. Shout out to Thorzane. He is the man, and into some countries. So congratulations to him. That's really awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Look at the brackets. Coming up next, the Spring Arena 1 Championship Sunday Grand Finals. First seed MKP versus 6th seed Dongraegu. Gosh, if only we've seen these two face off against one another before. Exactly. Yes, this is going to be like the 4th or 5th time that we're going to see them do battle here at MLG. This should be absolutely fantastic. And also just a big shout to the top 4 players that made it through. Hart, Ganzi, and then of course our 2 finalists, MKP and DRG. They will automatically be in the Spring Championship pools, as well as get an Insta invite to the next MLG Arena.
Yeah, so you will see them once again at Spring Arena 2, which is just about in a month later on.
All right, guys, we're going to be back with just a moment. It is going to be the grand finals between Marine King Prime and, of course, MVP DRG. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with the grand finals in just a moment.